Okay, here's our next tutorial looking at fast motion and slow motion in Romeo and Juliet. Okay, right, my apologies. So, this is one of my favourite scenes. Obviously, there's really good examples in the gas station feud at the very beginning, but we've looked at that quite a bit. So now I'm going to show you one of my all-time favourite introductions of a character, and that is Juliet's mother. So we're going to watch probably the next couple of minutes here.
Where's my daughter? Call her forth to me.
I bade her come, God forbid!
Madam, I am here. What is your will?
Nurse, give us a little while. We must talk in secret. Nurse, come back again. I have remembered me. Thou's here I come from.
Nurse, thou knowest my daughter is of a pretty age.
Thou wast the prettiest babe that there I nursed.
Upon my count, I was your mother much upon these years. You are now a maid.
Thus then in brief.
The valiant Paris seeks you for his love.
A man, young lady. Lady, such a man as all the world. Why, he's a man of what?
Verona's summer hath not such a flower.
Nay, he's a flower in faith, a very flower.
No. This night you shall behold him at our feast. Read all the volume of young Paris' face and find delight with there, the beauty's pen. This precious book of love, this unbound lover, to beautify him only lacks a cover. So shall you share all that he doth possess by having him, making yourself no less.
They bigger. Women grow by men.
Speak briefly. Can you like of Paris's love? I looked.
Okay, so it just cracks me up, her introduction. So she is introduced as being crazy, basically, all over the place. What I recommend you do is go back and rewatch that and look for all the moments where her actions are sped up and intensified, and pay attention to the fact that it's not just that, but at the same time, just like with Tybalt, sound effects are added. So even when she lights her cigarette, for example, there's sound effects added. When she is pulled into her corset really quickly, sound effects are added to heighten that. Contrast that with Juliet, who when we first meet her, has her head in the water. She's obviously having some kind of daydreaming teenage moment, thoughtful time, and she's portrayed as being totally calm and relaxed and serene, completely different from her mother. And then the nurse is portrayed as, being like fussy and a little bit nosy and a bit of a busybody, and so there's two characters are portrayed as being completely humorous, and then you've got the very serious Juliet. So this total contrast, which really emphasises how crazy the mother is. And you notice she takes pills while she's at the dresser, so we assume that she's on some kind of pills that are making her so uptight and anxious. So I really recommend you re-watch that to see the emphasis of everything that makes her go very, very fast. Now we have something's really interesting. Only about 5 minutes later, we have slow motion used again, but for almost exactly the same reason. So I'm just going to play it and then I'll talk about it afterwards. Whoa, that was unintentional. We'll leave it on that for a minute. Okay, so again, we've been introduced to these crazy characters. Everybody is having a crazy time, but it's actually slow-mo that's been used to emphasize that. And that's because it's all from Romeo's perspective. And he's taken this drug which has made everything appear really slow and bizarre, and that is what leads him into the bathroom to pour the cold water on his face and bring his senses back, basically. So on the one hand, we've just been introduced to crazy Lady Capulet, who everything is going very, very quickly, and then we see Romeo's perspective of the party, and he is very slow and everything is confusing and over the top. Interesting to note, and you may not agree with me, but Mercutio's top that he's wearing is actually a very similar design to the top that we see Lady Capulet put on, so maybe there's some kind of comparison being drawn there. Even his makeup, his eyeliner is quite similar. Maybe you could go back and have a closer look at that and decide whether or not you agree with me. Okay, so we've just got one more example for Romeo and Juliet that we're going to look at. Okay, so now we're flashing forward to the scene where Romeo eventually kills Tybalt. So we're just going to watch this. I want you to pay close attention to the speed of how things are going, and I don't just mean the speed of the car, obviously.
Mercutio's soul is but a little way from our head. Staying for thine to keep him company. Thou wretched boy shalt with him hence. Either thou or I or both must go with him. Either thou or I or both must go with him. Either thou or I or both must go with him.
Okay, so that seems really important in terms of its use of slow-mo. There's been some really careful decision making about what is done at normal speed and what gets slowed down. So look at the point at which the cars crash, when one of the cars roll and you can see all its contents being thrown around, when Tybalt falls into the fountain. And I don't believe that Romeo's reaction there is slowed down when that close-up is shown. I think that's the real-time reaction that was filmed, but certainly, obviously, when he drops the gun, not only has the action been slowed down, but the sound, again, emphasised. So often, it's not just that Baz Luhrmann is slowing down the image, but he also heightens and isolates the sound as well to really communicate the severity of what's going on. So every time this technique is used across this film, it's to emphasise a very, very important moment that is occurring, usually something very intense and very dramatic. So now we need to go and take a look at Moulin Rouge and have a look at how slow-mo and fast motion are used in that film.